going to start off then in our basic stance. And in this session, we're going to be looking at some veil dancing. I'm going to take you from the very basics of veil dancing, introducing you to that, through to some really gorgeous movements that you can enjoy dancing with the veil towards the end of this session. So let's spread out through our feet. Relax through the ankles, low legs, bend through your knees, tuck the hips in neutral, use your pelvic floor muscles, lift through your rib cage. Shoulders come forwards and up, they come back and down. Bring the chin back, crown of the head to the sky, and the tailbone sinks to the ground. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, feel a wave of relaxation, a new, vital energy. Deep breath in. Reach up to the sky. And then release that. Whew. Let's release, first of all, any tension that you might have picked up through your day. Lengthen all the way through and release that. Whew. Bend to your knees. Just let your arms and your back and your shoulders and neck open up. Deep breath in. Up to the sky. Let's just do one more of those and release out that tension. Whew. Oh, that feels good. And gradually as you return into center. Now, since we're going to be doing some veil dancing, we're going to start off with warming up through your hands, your wrists, through your arms. So we're going to bring this flexion and extension through the wrist, through the fingers. So you're going to bring the fingers up, bring them all the way back towards you, bring them out as far as you can, and then all the way in towards you on the underside. So we've got that pronation and supination through the joint there. And let's bring that into center. Lower your hands down and then raise them up. And imagine that your hands are these delicate paint brushes. You're going to sweep positive, colorful energy all the way through, painting that colorful energy into the air in front of you. From here, let's leave one hand there. We're going to alternate that. Bring one down. Good. Flex through your fingers. And then we're going to alternate through the other side. Flex through your fingers. Nice. To center there. One comes up, one comes down. You can begin to bring the arms round towards the side. It's really soothing and relaxing. And as we rotate round through that shoulder joint, that ball and socket joint of shoulder, it ends up in this movement known as, well, it has lots of different names. You might know it as snaky arms or Egyptian arms. It's a serpentine, flowing, energetic. If one foot was in front, you could bring the other foot in front. Shift your balance. Well done. Let's bring the hands in together. We're going to come together with the wrist. Bring it up towards the sky. Bring it out towards the side. Push down. Bring it into center, center, and up. Out and down. Together. Up. Out. Down. You can make that faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. Circling through the wrist. 1, 2, 3, 4. Other side. Wow. Beautiful. Into center, amazing. Let's now come into low half of body. Let's move for the hips. We're gonna slide the hip out one side to the other. So our friend Isla is currently unwell. She's in hospital, and so we are sending lots of healing vibes, lots of loving energy. We're raising our vibration for ourselves and also sharing that out to her. Isla, if you happen to be watching this on the playback on YouTube, we love you. Get well soon. We're going to do lots of shimmies on your behalf. Don't you worry about that. Let's bring the hip out to the side, bring it back. Bring it out to the side, bring it forwards. Out to the side, bring it back. Side, bring it forwards. A little bit faster maybe. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Other direction, we're gonna slide, bring it back, slide, bring it forwards, slide, back, slide, forwards, all the way around. Woo! Wow. A bit faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take it back. 1, 2, 3. Nice. Bring the hip into center. We're going to drop through one hip and then through the other. Bringing one side closer to the ground and then the other side. The opposing side comes up towards the sky. The hips are in neutral. And you're really utilizing that bend of the knee to keep the hips level there. So we're going to drop. 2, 3, 4. Drop. 2, 3, 4. Are you ready? A little bit faster. Wow. Drop, 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 drop. 4, 3, 2, step back, drop, 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 drop. 4, 3, 2, step forwards, drop. 2, 3, 4. Other side. Whee! Just shimmy in center. Couple of figure of 8s here. This one horizontal. So you're gonna slide diagonally forward, twist through your waist to bring the hip back. You could frame that with some arms if you want to, or if you're not ready for that, just focus on the hips. Nice. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. If you remember, we had a little shot of traveling with a movement. So we had that hip slide. So we could travel with that. Get your hip slide going just on the spot first of all. So you want to keep that hip line nice and level. So you're adding an extra bend of the knee as the hip comes out over that knee. Relax through your shoulders. They might want to creep up. Just relax through there, open out through your chest. And we're going to use those anchoring muscles of the upper half, so your upper abs in between your shoulder blades and the front and back of your shoulder. Then, when you get used to that slide, you could try just shifting your weight on the spot. So as you shift your weight, you can pick up that foot that's free to move. Slide, 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 slide. Well done. Slide. A little bit faster as we did. Slide, 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 slide. Let's take that a bit slower. We could travel with it. Just want to keep that momentum going for you with the traveling step there. And just taking a slide of the hip, we could take that out to the side, bring it back, side, bring it back to the side, all the way across to the other side. Let's try, take it this way, bring the hip all the way back, slide out, bring it all the way back, slide. Beautiful. Let's try, take it back. Yes. Wow. Shake it out, shimmy down, relax, release. Woohoo! That's amazing. Help yourself to a little spot of hydration if you would like one. And whilst you're there, if you have a veil that you would like to dance with, have a little shot with, you can get that now. So let me just talk to you first of all about veils in belly dance. So this is a topic that I could talk about for a very, very long time. And I think what I'll do is I'll create a separate workshop session that you can join that will go into lots of fine detail. But for now, what I want to do is just give you a little introduction to dancing with the veil. What does it feel like? What is the veil? What are different varieties of the veil? How should you hold it? And then what we'll do is I'll show you maybe 2 or 3 different movements for this session that we can have fun dancing with together. So tonight I'm going to be using this one here, which is one of my favorite performance veils. So if you want to dance with a veil and you don't have a veil yet, that is something that I can sort out for you. Do drop me a little message. I have some in stock at the moment. Otherwise, what you can do is you can get your own piece of fabric. You would want to finish the ends because they will fray down. What you do is just like fold it over double and then use a tacking stitch. And then you can get fancy with the stitching afterwards if you want to. The length that you want to have, I would say, is roughly 2 meters wide along the way by maybe 1 meter deep. That would be plenty enough. Some veils are longer, some are shorter, and there's lots of reasons for that. Sometimes it depends on the kind of movement you're going to be doing. Sometimes it depends on how tall or short you are. And sometimes it depends on the way you want it to travel through the air. And just on that topic brings us to the next point, which is the fabric itself. What kind of fabric is it? So this one that I have here is a single silk. And what I'll do in a specialist workshop session on veils is I'll demonstrate what different fabric types, how they travel differently through the air, and specific movements that are relevant to each that work really, really well. But for now, this is a single silk, another really, really popular choice, and one that I would definitely recommend if you're a beginner or even an improver to dancing with the veil, is a chiffon, such as this here. This is a chiffon right here. Actually, let me take this off and show you. So the chiffon, this one has some detailing on the end. So it will travel ever so slightly quicker than one that doesn't have sequins or playlets on the end. But this one is very sheer. It travels through the air at what I would say is about the optimum speed. It's not too fast, it's not too slow. It gives you lots of time as a beginner or even an improver to really adjust your grip and be ready for it to come to you. So this is a chiffon, and I'd recommend a chiffon if you're brand new to this. If you already know that you're going to love dancing with the veil, and if you are up for quite a challenge to begin with, a single silk would be a lovely option. Now, the single silk travels through the air much slower. Notice that? But that also means that you have to have more control when using it. So it's a challenge, but it's a very, very beautiful challenge. So this one is hand-dyed, single silk. All right, so with that, let's move on. Let's have a look at grip of the veil. So in my classes, as you will know, I like to teach a basic stance with your body, a basic stance that's your kind of go-to positioning with your body. And that ensures that your dance is good for you, that you're building well-being into your body, you're receiving all the benefits of the movements, but also that you're not training any bad habits or injuries into your body at the same time. So similarly, I would recommend with veil dancing that you also employ a basic grip that you're going to return to in between movements. So with that, let me show you two basic grips that you might use. So I might come and do a close-up here. It will take me just a moment to do the focus and refocus perhaps. So, I think we're actually, you can probably see what I'm doing. So if you take your hand like this, yeah? And then I want you to hold the veil out. What you're going to do is you're going to grip along the edge of the veil like this. So you're here, it's like this. Yep. And the same on the other side. So it's like this, and then you're going to flip it over, and this becomes your outer edge. Now this gives you a really, really crisp edge. If you want to create, say, a line to bring your audience, to bring their view, their eye to a specific point, this is really nice. You kind of hide the inner mechanism of what you're doing. So this is one. However, as you might notice, as you try and move around with this, it's quite restrictive. So you want to also place that with another basic grip. And for that, I would recommend a scissor grip. So before we go into this one, let me give you the distance that you want to have between your hands. So the distance that you want to have between your hands is you want to have them wide enough apart that you could bring it all the way around you quite comfortably and have some excess there, and it would, dip down in the center. But you also want to be able to form a straight line. Okay, so that's going to give you more control over the veil as it travels. If your hand was, say, way out here, it's difficult to then maneuver. Say I want to find my way over to this edge, I have to really go for it over here, whereas if I'm closer, I can really slide my hand. There are many, many movements, many more movements that you can utilize this grip, this distance, than what there are with your hands right at the edge. What you'll see if you watch belly dance performance with veil, what you'll see is often American dancers will have their hands, their fingers right at the very edge of the veil. It tends to just be an American trend. American cabaret style is a specific style that's evolved over time since around about 1970 onwards. And so they prefer to have it out here. And there's lots of really gorgeous movements that you can do with your hands out here as well. But for a basic starter point of view and into improver, and actually even what I do by preference now would be the grip that I showed you, whereby you are here. So you've got the hands far enough apart that you can really move around inside that if you were to wrap it. but you can also form a straight line. So this is a distance, and you'll get used to returning to that distance in between movements. Initially, it will probably take quite a lot of effort. That's regular, that's normal. So let me focus over here and show you this grip. So what we have is a scissor grip like this. Chop, 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 chop. It's fun just doing that, isn't it? So we're here. So for lots of you, this might be a return to learning. It might be nice to just remember what this is again, because I think for all of us, we're a little bit out of practice with dancing with the veil at the moment, what with lockdowns and things like this. And so you're going to take one edge, so it's 1/3 of the way along your veil, and then you're going to snip right down the middle, like that. So you snipped right down the middle. And then what I've got here, if I just show you, I've got the same amount of veil on one side, oh gosh, where's the camera? On one side as I've got on the other side. So my finger isn't off to the side like this, it's straight down. So it's a T shape that I'm forming like this. Yeah? Good, 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 well done. The other thing to notice is the veil is right up at the top where my fingers join. There is not this sort of full length of finger and then I've just snagged the end here. It's right up at the top. It's going to give you the best chance of holding on to it. And then the other thing to think about with this, gosh, there's so many. What are the main things? I don't want you to anchor the other fingers. I want you to keep the other fingers free. Keep the other fingers free. So we didn't do this and then wrap it around fingers. We literally just anchored it here and the other ones can move around. That means you can pivot with the movement. Your other fingers are free if you want to grip onto the other edge, and suddenly you've got this bit here. All sorts of tips and tricks like that. All right, let me focus over here then. So now that you know that you have the right grip, and if you're unsure on any of that, do just leave a little message in the comments and I'll answer your questions. It's something that you want to get right, and that's why I wanted to spend this time really talking to you about it and demonstrating that, rather than just diving straight in with the dancing and you're kind of like, what am I doing? And you might hurt yourself. Okay, so we're here. Let's go with that scissor grip that we had. So about 1/3 of the way along one edge, 1/3 of the way along the other edge, roughly that. You want to have straight line, but you can wrap it around yourself. Scissor grip there. As you dance with the veil, you want to have your body in your basic stance and your hands in your basic grip. One of two that I'd recommend. From there, the next thing I want you to do is relax your hands. Now relax them some more. And then relax them even more. Because one of the things that people do whenever they start to dance with the veil is they tense up. Fear of dropping the veil. Wouldn't that be the worst thing ever to do? Actually, sometimes that can be the best thing to do in moments where the dance takes on a life of its own. And sometimes there's moments of real beauty that can come from that. So don't be fearful of that. Just relax. And actually, there's less chance of you dropping it if you relax. All right. Before you do any movement, any dancing with the veil, what is the number one thing, do you think? What do you think is the number one thing to think about when dancing with a veil? I'll get you just to pop your ideas of what that might be in the comments box for me there, and then let me address that in a moment. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to start off. Do you remember that movement we did a moment ago as we warmed up through the hands, the wrists, the arms? That painting of color. So So we're going to do that movement there. Flex through your wrists, flex through your hands. We're creating a mirage on the desert. It's very mesmerizing when you get into this movement. Oh, I'm seeing lots of comments popping up. Ideas of what might be the number one thing to think about before you even start to move with the veil. All right, let's bring the veil up on top of our head right now. I'm going to just nip over and so this is a gorgeous stance, princess pose. Surroundings. Gail said surroundings. Think about your surroundings. And he said, try not to trip over it. Well, you're actually both right. Safety. Safety is absolutely always the number one thing to think about when dancing with a veil. Let's try that movement again that we did. So as we mentioned safety, yes, it's things like your surroundings. It's things like trying not to trip on the veil, slide on the edge. So always being aware of the veil itself, being aware of your own body, so having that level of body awareness, but also having a keen eye for any trip or slip hazards around the room. Here's me talking to you about health and safety, but it is really, really important. So I would say, gorgeous as it looks, please don't dance with a veil beside a candle or a fire, no naked flames. I'd say probably not even any incense. But you do actually get lots of really amazing imitation candles now. And you can always fill a room with incense before you dance. Woo! Other things to be careful of, and oh my gosh, I've got so many stories that I could share with you about things like light fittings, objects on mantelpieces around the fire, catching the veil on costuming, having a few little costume whoopsies as well, where you have a little wardrobe malfunction as a result of the veil. So lots of things to think about. If you're wearing earrings, you might want to take them out or make sure they're quick release. If you're wearing any eyewear like glasses, you might want to take them off, or perhaps use contact lenses. You could go for those instead. If you want to wear glasses, do just be careful. Same goes for anything you've got in your hair. If you're wearing a hairpiece, which is gathering in popularity in the belly dance world. All right, let's now move on. So this was a wave motion we did. Now we're going to go on and do a movement called Around the World. This is a name that's attributed to the movement, but of course, the movements didn't really have names in the beginning. I'll talk to you about the history and the origins of veil dancing in another session. So what we're doing here, let me turn towards the mirror. I'll talk to you in the mirror here. So what we did, bring the veil up in behind you. I'm going to get you to bring your right arm round and in front of you. The left arm comes in behind you, sweeps round your head like a halo effect, and then it comes down towards the left-hand side. Yep, from here you're going to take your right hand and bring it all the way round towards your back. The left hand comes up and out, and that takes you back to that original positioning. Let's try that again. This time, here we go. Right hand comes in front of you. Left hand comes all the way around your head, and then it comes down into center as well. This is kind of halfway through the movement. Both hands down towards the ground in front of you. And you're going to take the right hand, bring it all the way up and out to the side, over your head behind you. So it's the other side of that halo, really. And then your left hand comes up to meet the other one. The veil is now in behind you. Let's try that a little bit faster. Are you ready? 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All together in one movement. And again. Stop there. So as you do that, what you'll notice is we've been focusing on the veil right now. The veil really acts as an extension of your own self. It's an extension of your energy. It's an extension of your vitality, your expression. So often when we're focusing on the veil just as an external object to us, what happens is that your posture comes all out and you find that you're like this, and 2 days from now, not 1 day, but 2 days from now, ow, ouchie. So what you're gonna do is tuck the hips right under and be aware of your basic stance with your body. Let's turn up the music a little and let's dance with these movements that we have. Take the veil behind you. Left hand comes up, right hand comes down. Left hand comes to meet it. Up and over. Bring the veil out in front of you here. Into waves. Bring the veil behind you. Travel forwards. Out to the side. Other side. So you can absolutely do these movements without the veil. If you don't have one yet, you're probably itching to get one. You could use your tablecloth, your bed sheet, whatever you use, do just be careful. Let's bring it all the way around. Wow, look at the colors. In 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the veil out in front of you. We're going to do this movement I love to finish any veil practice with. It feels so joyful and uplifting. It's called up, over, and release. Bring your hands down by your side. It goes like this. It goes up, over, and release the veil. Wow! Let's take the footing wide. We're going to lengthen through one side of waist. Bring that back into center. Take it to the other side. Back into center here. Releasing hands down. Bring one hand out, bring the fingers in towards you. And release that. And flip the hands over. We can do that on the other side. And release that. Hands come all the way down. Looking forward to sharing more beautiful veil dancing with you next time. Woo! If you've enjoyed this video, please remember to like, subscribe, and hit notifications so you can be informed of when the next video goes up. If you'd like to support the creation of these videos, remember you can head along to patreon.com/Little Egypt Studio, where you'll find a community of other enjoyers of these videos. See you soon. Bye.